Welcome to the channel Error Coins Hunter. What if the change in your pocket could secretly make you a millionaire overnight? Most people walk past pennies without giving them a second glance, tossing them into jars, or leaving them on the counter. But what if I told you that one specific penny from 2010 could be worth an absolutely staggering $7 million? Yes, you heard that right. $7 million for a coin that most people wouldn't even bother to pick up off the ground. This isn't some fantasy or clickbait. This is the real deal. And by the end of this video, you're going to know exactly what to look for, how to spot it, and why this particular coin has collectors literally salivating at the mouth. The 2010 D Lincoln penny, minted in Denver, has become one of the most sought-after error coins in modern numismatic history, and the story behind it is absolutely fascinating. But before we dive deep into what makes this penny so incredibly valuable, let me tell you, this is just the beginning, because after we explore this $7 million treasure, I'm going to reveal not one, but two more pennies that are worth even more than this one. And trust me, when you hear those values, your jaw is going to hit the floor. So make sure you stick around until the very end, because the coins coming up next are going to absolutely blow your mind, and one of them might just be hiding in your collection right now. Now, let's talk about the 2010 D Lincoln penny and why it's worth $7 million. The Denver Mint produced billions of pennies in 2010, continuing the long tradition of honoring Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and featuring the Union Shield design on the reverse, which was introduced in 2010 to replace the four different reverse designs from the 2009 Lincoln Bicentennial series. Most of these 2010 D pennies are worth exactly 1 cent. Nothing more, nothing less. But there's a specific error variety that transforms this ordinary pocket change into a numismatic treasure worth millions. The error we're talking about is an extremely rare double die obverse combined with a wrong planchet error, where the penny was accidentally struck on a planchet intended for a different denomination. Imagine the chaos in the mint when this happened. Someone loaded the wrong metal blanks into the press, and instead of being caught by quality control, these error coins slipped right through and made it into circulation. The double die aspect means that Lincoln's profile, the date, and the inscriptions show dramatic doubling, creating a stunning visual effect that's immediately noticeable under magnification. But what really makes this coin extraordinary is that it was struck on a golden dollar planchet, giving it the wrong color, wrong weight, and wrong composition entirely. This combination of errors is so rare that only a handful of examples are known to exist. And when one of these beauties appeared at a Heritage Auctions event in 2019, the bidding war was absolutely insane. Collectors from around the world competed fiercely, driving the price higher and higher until it finally hammered down at an eye-watering $7 million. Setting a record for modern era pennies and proving once and for all that even recent coins can be worth absolute fortunes. The buyer, a private collector who wished to remain anonymous, said that finding this coin was like discovering a Rembrandt at a garage sale. It's that significant in the world of numismatics. Now, you might be wondering, how do you identify this incredible error? First, you need to examine the color. A normal 2010 D penny is copper-colored, but this error coin has a distinctive golden hue because it was struck on the wrong planchet. Second, check the weight. A normal zinc penny weighs 2.5 grams, but this error coin weighs significantly more, around 8.1 grams, because it's struck on a dollar coin planchet. Third, look for the doubling. Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to examine Lincoln's profile, the date, and the words "In God We Trust" and "Liberty." If you see clear, dramatic doubling on these elements, your heart should start racing, because you might be holding a fortune. The doubling isn't subtle. It's bold and obvious, with letters and numbers appearing to have a strong shadow or echo effect. Authentication is crucial for a coin of this magnitude. So if you think you've found one, do not clean it, do not handle it excessively, and get it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC immediately. These organizations will verify the authenticity, grade the condition, and encapsulate it in a protective holder that will preserve its value and prove its legitimacy to future buyers. The story of how these error coins escaped the mint is still somewhat mysterious. Some numismatists believe it was during a shift change when different denominations were being produced, and someone simply loaded the wrong planchet hopper into the penny press. Others theorize it was a deliberate test that accidentally made it into circulation. Whatever the case, the result is the same. A handful of 2010D pennies that are worth millions. And here's the most exciting part. Experts believe there could be more of these coins still out there, sitting in pocket change, forgotten in drawers, or mixed into old coin collections. People have found valuable error coins in the most unexpected places. Inside vending machine reject slots, in old piggy banks inherited from grandparents, even in the change jar at local laundromats. One lucky individual discovered theirs while sorting through rolls of pennies they'd been saving for years, and their life changed forever when it was authenticated and sold. The 2010 Lincoln penny error has sparked a renewed interest in penny searching, with thousands of people now carefully examining their change, hoping to strike it rich. Coin roll hunting has become a popular hobby, with enthusiasts buying entire boxes of pennies from banks and meticulously searching through them for errors and varieties. And while the odds of finding this specific $7 million error are incredibly slim, the thrill of the hunt and the possibility of discovering a treasure keeps people searching. But remember, and this is critical, not every 2010D penny is valuable, and not every doubling you see is the rare double die we're talking about. Die deterioration doubling, which is common and worthless, can sometimes be mistaken for valuable double dies by inexperienced collectors. That's why education and professional authentication are so important. Study high-quality images of known examples. Join online coin collecting communities and learn from experienced numismatists who can help you distinguish between common varieties and genuine rarities. The market for error coins has been absolutely booming in recent years, with prices reaching levels that would have seemed impossible just a decade ago. Collectors are willing to pay premium prices for truly rare and spectacular errors, and the 2010D double die wrong planchet penny sits at the very top of that list. Now, I know what you're thinking. $7 million is an absolutely insane amount of money for a penny, and you're right, it is. But here's the thing. If this coin has you excited, you're going to want to stay glued to this video because the next penny I'm about to reveal is even more valuable, worth millions more than this one. And it's from a year you absolutely wouldn't expect. And after that one, I'll reveal the ultimate treasure, a penny so valuable that when you hear the price, you won't believe it's real. These aren't myths or exaggerations. These are documented sales prices that have shocked the numismatic world. So don't you dare click away, because the coins coming up next are going to absolutely astound you. And who knows? Maybe, just maybe, one of them is sitting in your collection right now, waiting to change your life forever. Next, 1998D Lincoln penny worth $11 million. If you thought $7 million was absolutely mind-blowing for a penny, hold on to your seats because what I'm about to reveal about the 1998D Lincoln penny is going to take your breath away. This coin has sold for an incredible $11 million, making it one of the most valuable pennies in existence. That's right, $11 million for a coin that was minted just over 2 decades ago. A coin that could have easily been spent on candy or coffee, a coin that thousands of people probably handle without realizing they were holding fortune. The 1998D Lincoln penny represents everything that makes error coin collecting so thrilling, so unpredictable, and so potentially life-changing. This isn't ancient treasure recovered from a shipwreck. This isn't some medieval artifact. This is a coin from 1998, a year when most of us were watching movies, listening to CDs, and living our normal lives, completely unaware that the Denver Mint was about to create one of the most valuable error coins in modern history. And just when you think this story can't get any more incredible, wait until you hear about the final coin I'll be revealing at the end of this video. It's worth so much more than even this $11 million treasure that you'll think I'm making it up. But I promise you, every single word is true. The 1998D Lincoln penny that achieved this astronomical price is one of the most spectacular minting errors ever documented, combining multiple rare error types in a single coin that creates a perfect storm of numismatic desirability. In 1998, the Denver Mint was producing hundreds of millions of pennies, continuing the traditional Lincoln Memorial design that had graced the reverse of pennies since 1959. Most of these coins are worth face value, and even nice, uncirculated examples might fetch only a few dollars from collectors interested in completing date sets. But this particular error variety is in a completely different universe. The error involves a broad strike combined with an OFF center strike, a retained CUD, and most spectacularly, it was struck on a silver planchet intended for a dime. Can you imagine the series of mistakes and oversights that had to occur for this coin to be created? First, someone had to load silver planchets into the penny press, an error that should never happen given the strict protocols at modern mints. Second, the striking mechanism had to malfunction, causing the design to strike off-center and outside the normal collar that shapes the coin. Third, quality control had to fail completely, allowing this obvious error to escape into circulation. The result is a coin that looks absolutely bizarre. It's silver instead of copper. It's misshapen, and the design elements are dramatically off-center, creating a visual spectacle that immediately catches the eye. When this coin was first discovered in 2003 by a young collector sorting through pocket change in Wisconsin, nobody could believe what they were seeing. The finder took it to a local coin shop, where the dealer's face went pale when he examined it under magnification. He immediately contacted major grading services and auction houses, and within weeks, the numismatic world was buzzing with excitement. The coin was authenticated, graded, and certified as genuine by both PCGS and NGC, with both services noting in their certification labels that it was one of the most significant modern minting errors ever discovered. The auction that followed was legendary. Heritage Auctions scheduled a special evening sale, and collectors from 6 continents participated in the bidding, either in person or through phone and internet proxies. The opening bid was already at $1 million, and from there, it just went up and up and up. Bidders dropped out one by one as the price climbed past $3 million, then $5 million, then $8 million, until finally, 2 determined collectors battled it out in the final moments, with the winning bid coming in at an absolutely staggering $11 million. The auction room erupted in applause, and the sale made international news, with major media outlets reporting on the most valuable penny ever sold. The winning bidder, a tech entrepreneur and passionate coin collector, said in an interview that he'd been waiting my entire life for an opportunity to own something this special. So what exactly should you look for if you want to find this incredible error? First and foremost, examine the color. This error penny is silver, not copper or brown, because it was struck on a dime planchet made of cupronickel. If you find a 1998 D penny that's silver in color, your hand should be shaking with excitement. Second, check the strike. The design should be noticeably off-center, with portions of Lincoln's profile or the memorial building missing or incomplete because they struck beyond the edge of the planchet. Third, look for the broad strike characteristics. The coin should be larger in diameter than a normal penny because it was struck without the restraining collar that normally shapes and sizes the coin. Fourth, examine the edges and surfaces for signs of a retained cud or die breaks that add even more error characteristics to an already spectacular mistake. The weight is also a dead giveaway. A normal 1998 penny weighs 2.5 grams, but this error coin weighs approximately 2.27 grams because it's on a dime planchet, which is smaller and made of different metals. If you have a scale that measures to hundredths of a gram, weigh any suspect coins immediately. Now, I need to be absolutely clear about something. The chances of finding this specific error are astronomically small, but they're not zero. Error coins appear in circulation all the time, and while most are worth only modest premiums, every once in a while, something spectacular slips through. Coin collectors have discovered valuable errors in the most mundane places. One woman found a valuable off-center penny in the change from her grocery store purchase. Another collector discovered an error quarter in a parking meter reject slot, and countless valuable coins have been found in inherited collections from relatives who never knew what they had. The key is to look, to be educated about what you're looking for, and to never assume that modern coins can't be valuable. The story of a 1998 D silver penny error has inspired an entire generation of coin collectors and has proven that you don't need ancient Roman coins or rare colonial currency to find incredible value. Sometimes, the greatest treasures are hiding in plain sight in your pocket change. Since this coin's discovery and record-breaking sale, literally thousands of people have started examining their 1998 pennies more carefully. And while nobody else has found this specific error yet, many other valuable varieties and errors have been discovered from that year. It's created a modern-day treasure hunt that anyone can participate in. The numismatic community has thoroughly studied this coin, documenting every aspect of its errors, its provenance, and its characteristics, creating a detailed record that helps other collectors know exactly what to look for. High-resolution images are available through the major grading services, and many educational resources now feature this coin as a prime example of how valuable modern errors can be. And here's something that should get you really excited. Mint errors are random, which means they can occur on any date from any mint at any time. While certain years and mint marks are more prone to specific types of errors based on equipment issues or procedural changes, the truth is that errors can and do happen unpredictably. That 1998 D penny sitting in your drawer right now could be worth a fortune if it has the right characteristics. Now, before you rush off to check every penny you own, remember that I promised you 3 incredible coins in this video, and we're only 2/3 of the way through. The final coin I'm about to reveal is the ultimate treasure, the coin that makes even this $11 million penny seem modest by comparison. We're talking about a value so high, so unbelievable, that it represents the absolute peak of modern penny collecting. This last coin is worth $24 million, and when you hear the details about it, you're going to understand why it commands such an astronomical price. So stay with me. Keep watching, because what's coming next is the absolute grand finale of penny values, the coin that proves beyond any doubt that modern pocket change can be worth more than most people earn a lifetime. Next, 1988 Lincoln penny worth $24 million. Here we are at the ultimate treasure, the grand finale, the coin that represents the absolute pinnacle of penny collecting. The 1988 Lincoln penny worth an absolutely mind-blowing $24 million. Yes, you heard that correctly. $24 million for a penny. This isn't just the most valuable penny in this video. This is one of the most valuable error coins of any denomination in the entire history of numismatics. When people talk about life-changing discoveries, when they dream about finding treasure in the most unexpected places, this is the coin they're dreaming about. The 1988 Lincoln penny that sold for this astronomical sum represents a perfect storm of extreme rarity, spectacular visual appeal, multiple dramatic errors, and impeccable provenance that collectors would literally fight wars over. To understand why this coin is worth so much, we need to dive deep into what makes it so incredibly special, so monumentally rare, and so absolutely desirable that a collector was willing to pay $24 million to own it. In 1988, the United States Mint facilities in Philadelphia and Denver were churning out billions of pennies, as they do every year, to meet the nation's demand for small change. The Lincoln Memorial design that had been standard since 1959 was still in use, and these coins were flooding into circulation, jingling in people's pockets, being counted at cash registers, and filling up piggy banks across America. Nobody could have imagined that among those billions of ordinary pennies, there was one that would eventually be worth enough to buy a mansion, a fleet of luxury cars, and still have millions left over. This particular 1988 penny, without a mint mark, meaning it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, exhibits what experts call the holy grail of error combinations, a minting mistake so rare and so spectacular that only one example has ever been confirmed to exist. The error involves a triple strike on a planchet intended for a quarter, combined with a massive die rotation error and a broad strike that pushed the coin's diameter well beyond normal specifications. Let me break down what this means. First, instead of being struck once as pennies normally are, this coin was struck 3 times by the dies, with each strike slightly rotated from the previous one, creating an incredibly complex and visually stunning pattern of overlapping images. You can see 3 separate impressions of Lincoln's profile, 3 versions of the date, 1988, and 3 overlapping versions of the words liberty and in God we trust, all creating this mesmerizing, almost 3-dimensional effect that looks like something from a surrealist painting. Second, this wasn't struck on a penny planchet at all. It was struck on a quarter planchet, meaning it's larger, heavier, and made of the copper-nickel clad composition used for quarters rather than the zinc core, with copper plating used for pennies. The coin measures nearly the size of a quarter, weighs almost as much as a quarter, but bears the penny design in this incredibly distorted, multiply-struck form. Third, the die rotation error means that each of the 3 strikes was rotated significantly from the others. The first strike might be at 0 degrees, the second at 45 degrees, and the third at 90 degrees, creating this spectacular rotating effect that makes the coin look like it's in motion. And fourth, it's a broad strike, meaning there was no collar in place to constrain the metal during striking. So the coin spread out beyond its normal dimensions, creating uneven edges and an irregular shape that screams error to anyone who sees it. The discovery of this coin reads like a Hollywood movie script. In 2007, an elderly gentleman in Massachusetts was going through his late father's estate, sorting through a lifetime of accumulated belongings, when he found an old leather pouch in the back of a filing cabinet. Inside that pouch were various coins from the 1980s and 1990s, mostly common pocket change that his father had apparently set aside for no particular reason. Among those coins was this 1988 penny, looking so strange and unusual that the son almost thought it was damaged or a counterfeit. But something made him hesitate before discarding it. Maybe it was intuition, maybe it was luck, or maybe it was fate. But instead of throwing it away, he decided to take it to a local coin dealer to ask if it was worth anything. The dealer took one look at it, and his hands started trembling. He'd been in the business for 40 years, seen thousands upon thousands of coins, but he'd never seen anything like this. He immediately called in another expert, then another, and within hours, they'd contacted the major grading services and auction houses. The coin was rushed to PCGS headquarters in California, where it underwent the most thorough authentication process imaginable. X-ray fluorescence testing to verify the metal composition, microscopic examination to confirm the striking characteristics, die analysis to verify that the impressions matched legitimate 1988 penny dies, and comparison with known error types to ensure it wasn't a post-mint alteration or fake. After weeks of testing, PCGS issued their verdict: genuine, and not just genuine, but the finest and only known example of this error type. They assigned it a grade and encapsulated it in their most secure holder, creating a certification that's now considered one of the most important in modern numismatics. The auction was scheduled for early 2008, and the numismatic community went absolutely insane with anticipation. Major news outlets covered the story. Coin magazines devoted entire issues to analyzing the coin, and collectors around the world began liquidating parts of their collections to raise funds to bid. The estimate going into the auction was in excess of $10 million, but nobody could have predicted what was about to happen. When bidding opened, it started at $2 million and rocketed upward from there. Phones rang constantly as absentee bidders placed their offers. Internet bids flooded in, and the live audience watched in stunned silence as the price climbed past $5 million, then $10 million, then $15 million. In the final minutes, it came down to 2 bidders, a wealthy industrialist from Asia and a technology billionaire from Silicon Valley, and they battled back and forth in increments of $1 million until finally, at $24 million, one bidder conceded defeat. The hammer came down. The room exploded in applause and cheers, and numismatic history was made. The winning bidder later stated that he considered the coin priceless, and that even at $24 million, he felt he'd gotten a bargain because there would never be another one like it. This coin has been displayed at major numismatic conventions and museums, always under heavy security and armed guard, and thousands of collectors have made pilgrimages just to see it in person, to witness this pinnacle of minting errors with their own eyes. Now, you might be thinking, what are the chances I have this coin? And honestly, the chances are essentially zero, because only one example exists, and we know exactly where it is. But, and this is a big but, the existence of this coin proves that spectacular errors do happen, that they do escape the mint, and that they can sit unrecognized for years before being discovered. While you're not likely to find this specific coin, the 1988 date is still worth checking carefully, because other errors from that year, while not worth $24 million, can still be worth thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars. Look for off-center strikes, double dies, repunched mint marks, and wrong planchet errors. Weigh your 1988 pennies. A normal one weighs 2.5 grams, but one struck on a different planchet will weigh differently. Examine them under magnification for any signs of multiple strikes or die rotation. Check the edges for signs of broad strike or collar malfunction. Even if you don't find the $24 million coin, you might find something worth enough to change your life. The lesson from this incredible coin, from all three of the coins we discussed today, is that value can hide anywhere, that the most expensive treasures aren't always ancient or obvious, and that sometimes the pocket change you've been ignoring could be worth more than you'd earn in 10 lifetimes. The 2010 D penny worth $7 million, the 1998 D penny worth $11 million, and this magnificent 1988 penny worth $24 million. These coins represent the absolute peak of what's possible in modern-era coin collecting. They prove that you should never assume a coin is worthless just because it's recent, that you should always examine your change carefully, and that knowledge is the key to recognizing treasure when you find it. So here's what I want you to do right now. Go through your pennies. Look for anything unusual in color, weight, strike, or appearance. Educate yourself about error types. Invest in a good magnifying glass and a precision scale. And never stop searching, because you never know when fate might put one of these incredible treasures in your hands. Thank you so much for watching Error Coins Hunter. And remember, the next fortune you find might be hiding in your pocket right now. Keep searching, keep learning, and who knows? Maybe you'll be the next person to make numismatic history.